Amaka was the pride of her family, the first daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Okonkwo, a hard-working but struggling family in a small village in Anambra State, Nigeria. Her parents had always dreamed of her becoming a medical doctor, a dream they had held on to since her birth. To them, Amaka was not just a child. She was a beacon of hope, the one destined to lift their family out of poverty. Despite their meager income from farming and occasional petty trading, the Okonkos managed to send Amaka to one of the prestigious universities in the country. It was a great achievement, and the entire village celebrated her admission. "You must make us proud," her father told her on the day she left for school. "You are the light of this family." Amaka promised to do her best. With her father's blessings and her mother's tears, she embarked on her journey to the bustling city of Enugu, filled with dreams and aspirations. Life at the university was nothing like the serene, communal life of the village. Amaka was thrust into a world where survival depended not just on intellect, but also on adaptability. At first, she tried to focus on her studies, attending lectures diligently and avoiding distractions. But reality soon hit her. The little money her parents sent, often delayed and insufficient, was barely enough to cover her feeding and transportation, let alone textbooks and other academic needs. Whenever she called home to complain, her father's response was always the same: "Manage it, my daughter. Things will get better." As weeks turned into months, Amaka found herself borrowing from friends to survive. Her landlord threatened to evict her when she couldn't pay her rent. Hunger gnawed at her constantly, and her once vibrant energy began to wane. It wasn't long before she met Chika and Cynthia, two girls in her department who seemed to have everything Amaka lacked. They dressed in the latest fashions, carried expensive smartphones, and never seemed to worry about money. Chika was the one who first approached her during a lecture break. "Amaka, why are you always so quiet?" Chika asked, her voice smooth and persuasive. "You can't kill yourself over books. Life is meant to be enjoyed." Amaka hesitated, but eventually opened up about her struggles. Cynthia, overhearing their conversation, smiled knowingly. "You're too fine to be suffering like this," she said. "Follow us, and your problems will be solved." At first, Amaka resisted their advances, clinging to her values and the principles her parents had instilled in her. But as her situation worsened, she began to see Chika and Cynthia as her only lifeline. They introduced her to their lifestyle, a world of partying, wealthy men, and easy money. "It's just dinner," Chika assured her the first time they took her to meet one of their sponsors. "You don't have to do anything you don't want to." That dinner marked the beginning of Amaka's descent. The man showered her with gifts, money, clothes, and even a new smartphone. For the first time since she arrived at the university, she felt a semblance of relief. She began skipping classes to attend parties, neglecting her assignments and missing exams. Her grades dropped drastically, but by then, Amaka was too deep into her new lifestyle to care. The sponsors demanded more than just her company, and though she felt a pang of guilt every time she compromised her values, she silenced her conscience with the thought of the money she needed to survive. Back home, Mrs. Okonkwo began to notice the changes in her daughter during her visits. Amaka's once modest demeanor had transformed into arrogance. She flaunted her expensive belongings, speaking with a newfound confidence that unsettled her mother. "Amaka, where are you getting all this money?" her mother asked one evening. "Mother, I'm an adult now. Don't worry about me," Amaka replied curtly. "Amaka, remember who you are. Remember the values we raised you with. The love of money is the root of all evil," her mother warned. But Amaka dismissed her concerns, too blinded by the allure of a new life to heed the warning. One fateful night, Chika and Cynthia convinced Amaka to attend a high-profile party hosted by a notorious businessman. The party was held at an exclusive hotel, and the girls were promised substantial rewards for their presence. Amaka hesitated at first, but the promise of a large payout to cover her rent and other debts pushed her to go. The party was extravagant, filled with influential men and beautiful women. Drinks flowed freely, and the air was thick with the scent of wealth and danger.
Late into the night, Amaka found herself alone with one of the men who was far more aggressive than she anticipated. When she resisted his advances, he became violent, leaving her battered and terrified. The incident left her emotionally and physically scarred, but she was too ashamed to report it or tell anyone. But what happened next will shock you.